Hello and welcome to Pardon the Integration. 1 foot on the ground and 1 in the cloud equals hybrid cloud, a podcast where we tackle 3 top trends in the channel today. I'm your host, Ed Hannon, and I'm joined today by David Boland, Product Marketing Director with Wasabi Technologies. As Wasabi's Product Marketing Director, David is responsible for the positioning and communication of our disruptive hot cloud storage service to the market, customers, partners, analysts, journalists, and internal team. David focuses on translating cloud storage technology into consumable services that help customers understand how to develop, enhance, and service their data storage needs. David, thanks so much for being here. And let's get started just by explaining really quickly how the program works. Again, it's 3 topics we'll discuss throughout the program, 3 minutes to talk about each topic. Our first topic is the importance of hybrid cloud solutions. Our second topic is getting used to hybrid clouds. And our final topic will be how can Wasabi help your hybrid cloud solution. And as you watch today's program, you'll see a countdown clock on the bottom of your screen. But let's get started with segment 1, the importance of hybrid cloud solutions. And David, why is it important to have a hybrid cloud solution?
Let's talk about hybrid cloud solutions. The first and foremost, the hybrid cloud solution is the easiest transition to the cloud for anybody. There's a lot of interest in moving to the cloud these days. We've been talking about it for the last decade and a half, and customers view the cloud as an opportunity to reduce their operational complexity, reduce costs, and allow them to react faster to market conditions. A hybrid cloud solution allows them to do that at a pace that is right for them. It's not a transition to the cloud. It is about moving to the cloud at a pace that's proper for them, and everybody's different.
Excellent. And then next question, why is it a good idea to have both hybrid cloud solutions and on-premise solutions?
So, that's pretty much the definition of hybrid cloud, right? So you have cloud plus on-premise solution. So and you have a on-prem plus cloud, and that gives you a hybrid cloud solution. And the reason why it's a good idea is because you still have some control over your IT environment. You can mix and match the kind of products, the platforms, the software that is the right fit for you and your organization. If you go to an all in the cloud solution, you're really going to end up with somebody that has a smaller menu of items for you to choose from. And you have to choose. But it ends up being you're going with a jack of all trades, master of none. But if you have control over your IT infrastructure and the hardware, the software that you choose, and you decide where you want that to be placed, either in your office or in a data center or in the cloud, then that gives you control over everything that's part of your IT world.
Excellent. And then the next question would be, what's the easiest transition for folks who haven't migrated to the cloud?
That's a good question. So if you look at what people have done for the past decade and a half, right, the first and foremost, the most popular cloud service is software as a service. And I'm going to discount that. That's your Office 365, your Salesforce.com, SAP, those things. I'm not going to consider that as like a cloud service. I'm talking more of an infrastructure. And the number 1 infrastructure service is storage. And there's a reason for that. It's the easiest to do. You have to take your older, colder data that you still need to keep. You don't want to get rid of because there's a fear of deletion, and you need to put it in a place where it's going to be less expensive and easier to manage. And that's always been, traditionally been the cloud. And so putting your data storage in the cloud is basically the first best step on the journey to the cloud. Once you master that, you can start to look at other cloud services. Maybe there's a compute, maybe there's block storage, maybe there is a database service that might be a right fit for you. But looking at what people have done before us, the pioneers have all gone with storage first as that first step to the cloud.
Excellent. So let's move to our next segment, getting used to hybrid clouds. And just start with sort of a big picture question. What are the top 3 use cases for hybrid clouds?
Okay, the top 3 use cases. Again, all right, so we're talking storage, which I think is the number 1 use case for a hybrid cloud altogether. That's the number 1. But within that number 1 use case, within storage, I'd break it down into 3 use cases. There's your backup, there's archive, and I'd say there's a cloud tiering, which I'll explain what cloud tiering is in a moment. Your backup. If you are backing up, if you're a VAR or MSP and or end user and you're using Veeam or Rubrik or Commvault or MSP 360 or one of the other myriad pieces of backup software, it makes sense that you put that in a cloud, your backup copy, right? If your archive is different from backup. Backup is a second copy or a third copy of your original primary data, right? Archive is just taking your older primary data that maybe you don't have a copy of and moving that to a less expensive storage, and that could be the cloud. Thirdly, cloud tiering. Cloud tiering is, for those of us who are familiar with on-prem storage tiers, you have your tier 0, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, whatever, based on performance. Taking your older data off of your more expensive on-prem storage and moving that to an inexpensive cloud solution is a perfect is a perfect use case in this case. And that, I think that the cloud tiering piece is probably the third most popular use case we see for cloud storage.
Excellent. Now let's move to our next question. What future cases do you see for hybrid clouds?
So we've talked the most popular ones today: backup, archive, cloud tiering. I'd say active archiving ones we haven't talked about either, but that's file sharing. There's a lot of folks in Hollywood in production houses doing active archiving. That's also very popular. The ones I see coming down the road in 2021, 2022, definitely, that we haven't seen a lot of yet, that we're just in the beginning of, is video surveillance storage. A lot of these cameras and a lot of the surveillance is being captured, and it needs to be stored. It can get expensive when you start capturing video from hundreds of cameras, right? Some people have thousands of cameras. That's going to be a new use case of video storage going to the cloud. Medical imaging, a lot of folks in hospitals and PAC software, that's photographs and communication software. They've been hesitant about moving that data that they collect to the cloud because they were concerned about cloud security. These days, it's really hard to find a cloud solution like Wasabi that doesn't have letters of attestation saying that you're CJIS compliant, or FERPA, or FINRA, or HIPAA, or GDPR. So I see medical imaging and medical records going to the cloud. Additionally, law enforcement and public safety. You don't see a lot of body cam storage going to the cloud. You will see that going forward. You'll see for law enforcement, videos that's been collected on dashboard cams, body cams, interview rooms, just about any place that's going to have to go to the cloud. And then storing those public safety records will be critically important as well.
Well said. Very well said. Let's talk in our final segment here about Wasabi and your Wasabi solutions. So the segment is, how can Wasabi help your hybrid cloud solution? But first question, why should partners consider Wasabi for hybrid cloud solutions?
Okay, I love that question. And the answer is simple. If you are an MSP or a VAR, odds are AWS doesn't care about you. They want your customers. They don't really want you. They make it very difficult for a small or medium-sized MSP or VAR to partner with them. If you want to be a certified AWS partner, well, you got to pay for your classes. You got to get certifications. You've got to pay them a certain amount of money every year for certification. You got to bring to them, use cases and customers examples, that will go public saying that, yes, they are AWS customers. They make it really difficult to jump through hoops. Now, in the case of Wasabi, we don't do that. You don't have to pay for a partnership. We don't make you sign up for online courses and certifications. We want you to be able to offer cloud storage as easily as you could, on-prem storage. Your customer may say, you know what, I no longer want to have those racks in my wiring closet or in my mop closet. I'd rather have most of that moved to the cloud. If that's your customer's preference, well, then you should be able to sell them Wasabi cloud storage and make money as you would have if it was on-prem storage.
The final question would be, what does the future hold for Wasabi when it comes to hybrid cloud?
All right, great question. I poke fun of the guys in Seattle at AWS a lot, right? Because I think they're overpriced and complex, and they don't support the channel the way I feel they should support the channel. But I'll give them kudos where they deserve it. And this year they talked about the future of hybrid cloud for the first time again in years and years and years. They finally admitted it existed, but they said that only 4% of the on-prem technology, only 4% of IT technology resides in the cloud. 96% of on-prem technology resides. 96% of technology resides on-prem or in the data center, not in the cloud. So there is so much opportunity to help customers migrate to the cloud. There's so much opportunity. We're just at the very beginning stages of the cloud. You, me, the folks listening to this probably have been listening to cloud stories for years, and we think, oh, you know what, the war is over. The cloud has won. We've all moved on. This is just the beginning stages. We are now just crossing the chasm from early innovators and early adopters to the mass majority, right? And so we're going to see nothing but the hockey stick going up from this point on. From 2021 up is going to be a fantastic opportunity for MSPs and VARs and for cloud vendors like Wasabi, you know, to help customers transition to the digital world.
Excellent. David, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for being here today. And before we leave, I'm going to share some quick takeaways for all of you watching the program. First off, you do need both hybrid and on-prem cloud solutions. Second, on-prem solutions, I should say. Second, storage is the number one use case for hybrid cloud. When we talk about it, we talk about specifically backup, archive, and cloud tiering. And finally, if you want to make your life easier as a partner when it comes to your hybrid cloud solutions, look to Wasabi. You heard from David today how knowledgeable and insightful he is, and all the folks at Wasabi are great with this stuff. Definitely reach out. Definitely follow up with them. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Once again, I'm Ed Hannon, and you've been watching Pardon the Integration. 1 foot on the ground and 1 in the cloud equals hybrid cloud.